totally do that.
Hello,
Dave,
everyone. How is everybody? This is Cast Strength, brought to you by the one and only Cast Strength member in existence, Edward O'Mara. So, never mind. There's more of them.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hey guys, how's everyone doing tonight?
Hello.
Pretty good. We got Matt from Whiskey Crusaders and Ed from Rotgut Review. He was just too busy.
It takes two people. Takes two people to replace Vito.
Sure.
Yeah.
We liked Ed for White Walker because he likes all that crap anyway.
Man, I gave away my White Walker. Even I didn't want to have that in the house.
Oof. Life choices.
I was just saying to Brad before I came on, I feel like I've been on Cast Strength more than Vito has at this point.
We'd have to do the math, but it would be getting close, I think.
Definitely possible.
You're definitely getting pretty much paid as much as he is.
Yeah, right.
Actually.
So what's everyone gotten their glasses to fire this one off?
I don't have anything yet because I was going to ask Matt what he would suggest out of all the samples that he gave me in Austin, since I have all.
Great question.
Excellent.
Now I have to remember what the hell I gave you. Let's see. I've got them in front.
Tomatins. We got some weird nonsense I can't pronounce.
Do that first Kinder. That's a good one to start with. It's totally off the wall and different, but really good.
You're gonna have to say that word again, but I'll hold it up to the screen. So
right. It's this one, First Kinder, and it's a Dutch single malt, and it is 47%, and it's finished in cognac casks.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's got this cool little horse on top that I think is cool. So, well, yeah, it's a Dutch single malt, which you don't see a lot of. So, something I know Brad would definitely not have.
Yeah, no, definitely haven't had this one before.
Yeah, you don't run into a lot of Dutch whiskey. But
I've never had one.
Every single European country is pretty much making a whiskey at this point, though.
I have one for you, Ed, but you went to bed, so you didn't get it. I have to mail it to you.
You didn't get to the party until when did you get to the party? Because I was down there.
I got back there at 11 because we had to go to the vault again, and service the distilleries. It was fine. It's like, I have to go sit in the vault again and drink more whiskey. Okay, sounds like it didn't make a real difficult decision.
Twist my arm.
Yeah, really.
Walked you in at gunpoint, yeah.
So I'm like, yes, I will definitely help you.
Dutch Blanton's accurate.
Dutch Blanton.
Yeah.
It does make you wonder, right, about the horse on top. That's a good point.
And there's Canadian Blantons too now. The moose. Which one?
Caribou Crossing.
Yeah.
There we are.
That's true. Caribou Crossing. That's a good point.
That will be my Canadian Infinity bottle once that is empty.
It is a great bottle. Unfortunately, the whiskey's meh. It's drinkable.
I haven't had it.
Whatever. This, however, is pretty interesting.
Yeah, I want to know what you think of that for sure. Because I found it in a book and I told my friend buy it.
I don't know what I expected, but it is definitely not what I would have thought. Like, here, have a Dutch single malt.
Yes, it is definitely interesting.
Yeah.
I really like it, though, personally.
Very funny.
Did you pick that up locally, or did you have that special ship?
No, I had a friend who was visiting the Netherlands, and I had a whiskey book here. And I was like, hey, if you happen to go to a liquor store while you're there, buy this for me. And so he brought me back Friskinder and Millstone. So I was thrilled.
Beauty.
So
that's a good friend right there.
In Scotland right now looking for things.
Oh.
I'm like, find good whiskey and bring it back.
Excellent.
You got a whiskey scout. An international whiskey scout.
Pretty much.
Whiskey Scout is pretty handy to have. I recently scored my first bottle. Every time somebody, like any of my friends or family, go to Scotland, I'm like, bring me back some scotch. They're like, well, what do you want? And I'm always just like, I'm not picky. But this time, it was my wife's boss who went, and he said, what do you want? And I'm like, you know what? This time, I'm going to actually answer that. So I gave him, a list of about 14 distilleries and said any of those. And he brought me back actually a Balvenie 14-year peated triple wood, which is a travel only, I think. And it's spectacular.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's my first successful whiskey scouting
Donald
international.
into the chat is saying whiskey scouts are really wonderful, and I would agree. I have a few. Unfortunately, they tend to keep the whiskey with them, and I have to go travel to them.
You haven't figured out the delivery system yet?
But, it works out eventually.
Oh, yeah. Teresa, the Canadian Whiskey Smith, she wants to know which millstone. It's this one. The Millstone 100 Rye, which is the one I have for Ed.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I would.
100
damn,
proof.
I wish I had gotten that.
100 months,
That's
100%
disappointing.
rye, 100% small batch, 100% milled by Dutch windmills, 100% small pot still, 100 New American oak, 100% handmade. So, yeah, it's pretty cool, though. It's really good. So, that's Teresa knows. The Cascut Crusaders. Oh, I guess that Josh.
We have our new group name, apparently.
It's like Voltron. We each form a part.
That would be awesome.
I'm the crotch.
Sounds right.
What do you?
Oh my gosh. We should make whiskey coins that make the Voltron of those. It'd be hilarious.
Interesting.
I should totally do
Puzzle piece
Yes.
coins, that fit together into a big thing.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
each part has like an arm or something. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Exactly.
You have to collect the set. You gotta.
That would be pretty
Yeah,
cool.
they have all of them, of course.
Yeah.
What are you over there drinking, Ed?
I've grabbed a couple of the samples people gave me from Austin. So I'm on the 13th Colony Bourbon, which was given to me by John Verstraete. So this one's, I believe, out of Georgia. Sweet Georgia.
Oh, yeah. Quality is Georgia. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so I've never had anything from Georgia at all. I'm pretty sure this is sourced and they just age it. Because they really don't give you a whole lot of information about it, except that it's corn and rye mash bill. Very nice though. Smells like bourbon. It's got a little spice on the taste. It's very drinkable.
All right, Brad, what should I pour of all of these?
What are the non-peated ones? So maybe Shelter Point.
Okay, the Shelter Point.
Right.
Do one, that one.
That would be a good starting one.
All right, Shelter Point artisanal cask strength.
Oh yeah, nice.
John Gunsel, if you insist, I will finish that Garrison on stream. But do you really want to make me do that?
Oh, I didn't watch that yet.
So mean.
Which one did you get? Because I haven't had a chance to watch it yet either.
Today's worst whiskey watch it's a Texas Whiskey Trail selection. And then I posted the video and I was like, I don't know why they chose this one. This one is really not good. Then I don't know if you guys know Texas lady who frequents these chats sometimes. She actually came out and was like, yeah, I chose that one.
Nice.
But in her defense, she said it tasted way different when it was in the barrel because she tasted it at barrel strength. Then it sat for almost a month or something like that. And then they proofed it down from barrel strength to like 94 proof.
Oh.
And yeah, so it's not exactly the same whiskey anymore.
That would just piss me off.
If it sat in Texas for a month, it could have been a very different temperature when they finally pulled it. It could be very different.
Yeah. So it definitely could have taken a really bad turn at some, even in a week, it could have taken a terrible turn.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's the Texas Whiskey Trail, that one. That's what we're talking about, Ed.
Yeah, I had the barrel number somewhere around here, but
I'm wondering if it's that one that's looking at me across the bar. And it's like a total off note for a Garrison, like real woody.
Yeah, well, it was a really like green. Actually, well,
Yeah.
where is it? I got it somewhere around here. It's like green, sappy yew branch. It's like chewing on bark.
Specifically a branch of a yew.
Yeah, a branch of yew. One of your arms is what I'm talking about. Real meaty. Yeah, it smells like it's 4 years old. So I don't know why it would smell like this, but it smells like a really young corn whiskey. So I don't know. It's weird. It's the first Texas whiskey I've ever had that I didn't like. Like pretty much every other Texas whiskey has been either good to amazing. So
I'm sipping on some Old Forester single barrel. This is a store pick that James Dennis. I haven't been looking at the chat. I don't know if he's in. James Dennis brought me this back the last time he was in the States. It is the Supermarket Liquor and Wine store pick. And it's actually really, really, really tasty. It's tastier than the other Old Forester I had at the same 45%. I can't remember if it was a single barrel or not, but this one is fantastic. It's got lots of sour cherry, which is one of my favorite bourbon notes. And then it's super woody. And on the palate, the cherry comes through again. And it's got like that dusky cottage drawer, like up Northern Ontario cottage drawer. No matter how clean and airy your cottage is, you open that thing after the winter and it has that like dank smell.
Sure.
And I get it in bourbon a lot and I love it.
I've never really connected those notes. I'm gonna have to look for that now. Hey, Alan's in the chat.
Hey, Alan. Face.
Alan, you stay up way too late. I don't know how you do it, man. I'm very impressed with you.
This is delicious, Brad. I really like this. This is really good. This is probably one of the best Canadians I've ever had.
I told you they exist.
Oh, I know. They just don't ever send them here. That's the problem.
They don't even send them here all that often. I don't.
Yeah, good point. That one's another thing. I did try that Glen Breton 10-year. That thing's freaking awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that
Glen Breton is great.
So the Laird of Fintry. That one's also really good.
I think they're certainly the best and oldest, I think, single malt that we have in Canada.
Good reason, though.
Yeah. Good environment to be making and aging whiskey.
They're out of Nova Scotia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Very Scotland-esque.
Yeah, I was going to say. That's what makes it especially funny when the SWA sued them.
In weather and in culture.
We named you for our country. You're dumb.
Bunch of Scottish people got kicked out, and then they got sued for being kicked out.
Yeah, it's like you're dumb.
Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I would just be pissed off. You're suing your own relatives. Okay, that's logical.
Yeah, and many of them quite direct relatives.
Yeah, for real. Oh, this is awesome.
It's like Newfoundland is pretty much, it's just Ireland and on the other side of the ocean.
Yeah. This is like so fruity and oily. It's beautiful.
What is that again? The Shelter Point?
The Shelter Point cask strength.
Yeah, the artisanal whatever cask.
Yeah, whatever it says. Yeah. What's the proof on it anyway, Brad? Any idea?
Grab look it up.
There's so many special bottlings from Glen Breton that don't make it a mile out of the distillery every year that I'm really trying to get my hands on. Someone just mentioned the 19-year ice wine finish cask strength.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah, I'm not. I really don't enjoy ice wine itself, but ice wine finished whiskey tends to be pretty tasty.
Oh, I love ice wine. So ice wine with ice finished whiskey is even better.
There you go. That's
So
probably a good.
58.4.
Okay. Very respectable.
Have you had?
I will say the sweet wine finished whiskeys are quickly becoming one of my new favorite things, especially, well, not limited to, but especially with peated expressions. Like the Sauternes, the Kilchoman Sauternes is. I'm trying to decide if I like that or the single cask Madeira right now.
Ooh.
Because I'm going back and forth. Like it's a battle for my soul right now.
Madeira
But
is
either way.
unbelievable.
I'm still stuck on the STR. I'm loving the bottle we got.
Yeah, the STR is great too. Texas whiskey, like Madeira finisher, get the fuck out.
Josh is right. I have to have the Sauternes to really know that, but so far, it's the best garbage man ever, Patrick Cohen.
Hey, Patrick.
Hey, Patrick.
He just got home from work, and instead of relaxing, he's watching this. That's welcome.
He just wants to keep the stress going, is what it is. He doesn't care to unwind.
Fair.
So, folks at home, who's drinking what? I haven't seen much of being announced what you guys are drinking at home.
I want to grab something real quick. I got to make sure this is Ed's bad bottle.
This is kind of question mark. Like, maybe it's relaxing.
It could be. It could be.
It could be.
Is it this bottle, Ed, that's got this Trailblazer thing on it? Let's see. It's the Texas hanging off. I can't really see.
See, I never actually had the bottle.
Oh,
Was the
okay.
thing. I had a sample. I got the wee sample bottle.
Whiskey Trail on it.
Wait, what barrel? What barrel number is on the side there?
Well, it's kind of smudged. Ends in 8.2.
Wait, is it 8382?
Yeah, that's it. 8.3.
That's the one.
Oh, that one's bad.
Yeah, that one is bad. It's just really unfortunate, and I feel bad because I'm pretty sure you have to, like, you do it. You got to pay for the tour and all that, and you have to sign up for the wee little like thing to get selected to do the barrel pick and all that, and then like you do your barrel pick, you're super excited about it, and then a month later you get your stuff, and it's like, yeah.
Some nice stuff going on in the chat. So Steve
Oh, yeah.
is having a blind sample flight of 5, which he thinks is primarily Campbelltown, but he's not sure because blind.
Nice. Ginger Reeves is having Iron Root Promethean. That's tasty.
Ooh, Donald Rance with the 11 Souls, one of my favorites from the Northern Border collection in the past couple years. That's a good one. Oh, Mark. Hey, Mark, I didn't see you there. Mark's having some Glenfiddich Fire and Cane, which is also pretty tasty.
Yeah, I guess Peter White says J.P. Weiser's 23-year cask strength is freaking amazing. You guys had that one at all?
Yes, actually. If I can tell a brief story of Brad, who we went to the Spirit of Toronto, which is our premier, hoity-toity whiskey gala. And Brad took me and another guy to Dr. Don's masterclass.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, so we got to try the entire Northern Border collection that came out this fall, way back in the spring. So that was really awesome, and we did have the 20-year cask strength. It was super tasty. There's a lot of new stuff this year, but the highlight for me still was a classic, the Lot 40 cask strength. This year, everyone's making a fuss because it's non-age statement, and the previous 2 releases were 11 and 12 years, respectively. But it's a total vanilla bomb. It's not. It doesn't have many traditional rye notes at all. And I'm a rye guy. Like, I love like dill and spice that you get from rye. But this was a super vanilla bomb because Dr. Don spent a lot of time and effort into getting the most vanillins out of that barrel. So like he calculated the char right down to like a fraction of a degree to get everything and get the most, because I mean he has a PhD in what he does.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So he's passionate and knowledgeable, and it's just really nice to have a cask strength rye that has a lot of almost bourbon-y notes.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, and it's super good. If you guys can ever, it goes for any lot 40 cask strength. It's some of the best we have to offer, I think, in my opinion, from Canada.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, Benjamin, the 15-year Wisers is definitely tasty for Canadians.
See, it sounded like you meant it was only for people from Canada. Like anyone else who tastes it.
Yeah, it's for Canadian.
Very specific taste.
Yeah.
It's
like the holy grail. If you're not Canadian and you drink from it, you know, your face disintegrates.
No, you just become Canadian. You get it. The whole thing.
Yeah, I have the 18-year JP Wisers. I was not impressed.
No,
It's very
they're not
disappointing.
like if you hold them up to like any of your other standard Canadian bottlings, it's all right. But like the 35-year is spectacular.
Oh, I bet.
So I mean, it takes 35 years to make that Wiser spectacular. But the dissertation, the seasoned oak, even the Canada 2018, all a bunch of stuff that isn't available, sometimes not even out of Ontario, much less out of Canada. And they are just spectacular drams. The seasoned oak is some of the best Canadian I've had. It's 19 years. He left the staves out, exposed to the weather for 4 years. Just
oh wow,
out there
a long time. They're dry.
Yeah, super heat of Windsor and the super cold in the winter and all of that jazz. And
Cool.
it's really, really tasty whiskey because there's love into it combined with a PhD.
You can taste the love.
You can taste the love. Truly, you can taste the love.
In Canada, you could have up to 9% love, and it's still whiskey.
9.72% love.
This is true, unfortunately. What's the random crap? Don't know. Doesn't matter. It's still legal.
I don't know. I don't know if I want somebody else's love in my barrel, depending on what they did to
it. That's fine, but if other people do, that's their own.
I mean, there's a reason they call it a bunghole, right?
Nobody wants that in the barrel.
People do. Probably. I mean, whatever. No judgment.
I'm going to move on to a sample that
sticky. I mean, as long as it's warm, Josh, you're okay. It's when it cools it becomes a problem.
True. I can confirm.
I'm going to move on before he starts telling that story. So, what did I put in my glass next, Matt?
I'm going with something Brandon Elliott, very nice guy, gave to me. I want to shout him out. He gave me the Kentucky Spirit 15-year-old from Wild Turkey.
Nice,
amazing.
Yeah, and Erica's encouraging me to drink more bourbon, so I may have to kill this before she gets any. I think that's what she would want. That
would be Erica Boonehaven.
Erica Boonehaven, yep.
If you haven't heard.
Erica Boonehaven of the Milwaukee Boonehavens.
Boonehaven throne, sure.
She might hurt you if you finish that 15-year without letting her try it. Because that 15-year Kentucky Spirit is freaking amazing that Brennan brought.
Nice. I've had the regular, which is definitely a non-age statement. Actually, I just had some on Turkey Day, Canadian Turkey Day. And it was also a store pick, and I can't find the empty bottle, but that was also from James Dennis, and it was pretty good. It's a single barrel 101, basically the standard bottling non-age statement.
Yeah, it's good. Plus, it comes in that the old bottle is a cool feathery bottle. Now it's boring.
The turkey tail.
What? There's a new bottle style?
Yeah, it's the same as the rare breed bottle style now. It's boring.
Just
I
a
also
little
love the
circle.
old rare breed bottle style, like the very
Yeah.
conical.
Exactly that
And
one.
then they changed it to a fairly.
Just boring, regular shape bottle.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Yeah, it totally is.
This is really good.
Yeah.
Even for a guy who doesn't, bourbon's not my first choice usually. This is very good. The nose on this is amazing.
Yeah, that's like one of the best. That's probably one of the best turkeys I ever had in my life.
Wow.
Nice.
It was incredible. He just going around pouring it for everybody. He's an awesome dude.
Oh yeah, he was very insistent that everyone gets some.
Yes, he was. And then multiple times.
Yeah.
We need to have this again. Okay.
Try more of this.
Try more of this delicious, amazing whiskey that is a one-time. He said there was like 62 bottles of it in the world or something crazy. It's like, okay, well, I really appreciate you bringing this thing. This thing is freaking awesome.
Oh, so that's what it's all about. That's pretty much what Brad does every time I see him.
Yeah. So, Brad, what should we give you next? Is the next question.
Yeah. What should I dip in?
Did I put a Tomatin Muscatel in there by chance? A 15-year?
I think so.
I think that's probably another good one to go to. Oh, so did you pick up the butterscotch pudding on that one on the Friskinder?
Yes, that was very tasty. I need to save the rest of that for.
Oh yeah, I would totally save the rest of it too for time to savor for long moments alone because it's that good. Ooh.
Yeah, this Tomatin 15 Muscatel.
Yep, that's it. Yeah, it's this one right here, limited edition, and it is 46%. So it's that one.
Mark, Vito is at a family occasion this evening and couldn't make the stream.
A family occasion.
It's his father's birthday, actually. So happy birthday to Papa Pixie.
Papa Pixie.
Papa Pixie. Oh my god. Okay, so the empty glass of this shelter point smells like an ashtray. That is
That could be good or bad. It's such a.
it's not like a cigar ashtray. It's cigarette ashtray.
That's a strange.
Even still, that if it's cheap cigarettes, it's always bad. Sometimes, though, that's one of those tasting notes that could be bad. Cigarettes. Could be good.
That is the weirdest. Since that was it, there's no peat in that, right? Or is there a little bit? No, that's what I thought. That is bizarre. On the after smell of that one. Okay, well that's a new one.
Direction for that to go. I'm not sure I've experienced that.
Yeah.
I just went back. So I was like, oh, that is weird. All right, well that's a new one. That's for sure. All right, so which one should I move on to then?
Do you want another Canadian, or do you want to move on to something?
We'll get another Canadian. That works.
All right, go.
I'll do this. This Scooter Warrants 11 Souls. That a good one to go to next?
Ooh, yeah, that is.
All right.
That is a good one to go to next. Hey, Scott. Good to see you, buddy. Cheers right back at you.
Texas Whiskey Life is drinking, I don't know how to say, Tanua Caroder. I've never heard of that. That sounds really interesting.
Irish style single pot quarter cask, but made in Denver.
Never heard of it.
That sounds awesome. I wish I had known about them when I was over there. I mean, we probably wouldn't have had time. We already hit so many distilleries, but still.
Yeah, I like Irish style. I like single pot still. I like quarter cask. And I don't really have anything against Denver, so.
Denver sucks. Never mind.
Mountains are overrated.
Sounds good to me.
They do make Coors, so that's a strike against them, I guess.
Good point. But don't worry, it's Rocky Mountain water that's put through reverse osmosis and never actually has any water in it from there, but whatever.
Andrew Spurrell says he just had the new 19-year Gooderham Awards, and it's very. I haven't had a chance yet.
Oh, Alan got that bottle from Tomatin that Scott had. Oh, that thing is unbelievable. Did anybody else try that one that Scott brought from Tomatin, that PX cast that he had? Oh, that thing was unbelievable. Yeah, Alan should be quite thrilled. That's for sure on that. This is very perfumey. Some floral. Some citrus on it. It's got a lot. That's got a really good nose for Canadian here. We'll see how it tastes.
I'm trying to figure out what there's an underlying note in this Kentucky Spirit, and I can't figure it out. Like it's got a lot of big, like standard bourbon flavors, but very amped up. But then there's something else, like strawberry pudding or something. I don't know. There's this weird sweet note underneath it all, and I'm trying to figure this out. This is perplexing. It perplexes me.
He's perplexed.
It's always fun. You're like, I have no idea what I am tasting, but I like it.
Yeah. This is like
That's
maple
always a
sugar,
good thing. Yeah.
vanilla, brown sugar. This is really rich in coating. This is really good too. See,
Yeah.
this is the kind of crap they need to send to us. This is ridiculous. See, I told you guys keep all the good stuff up there.
Whenever I go to Texas, I bring a whole bunch of samples of stuff like that. to spread
You
around.
do, thank God. Someone has to. Because we'll never know it
See,
exists.
Brad, you need to start your own import company now.
For real.
That's the next step in your whiskey journey, is importing Canadian whiskeys directly into the United States.
That would be handy.
But only the good ones.
Only the good ones. That's the point.
Yeah.
That's the
I'm
point.
not,
You gotta.
I'm not even going to mention what would actually happen because you guys would have more Canadian mist down there than you've ever fucking seen before.
Oh, right next to the black velvet, right?
The streets are flooded with Canadian mist. It's like a tsunami, like a disaster movie. There's a tsunami rolling into the city. It's just brown piss water.
First thing you'd be able to smell before it got to you. The air smells of nail polish.
Somebody get John Cusack on the phone. We need to get this picture rolling.
Well,
2012, the mistening.
The mist.
the mistening part 2, in case you missed the first one.
Oh.
Yikes.
Oh, there you go.
Yikes.
I am drinking some North Star Spica. This is the 29-year-old blend. It's my first blend that I've had from North Star. Everything else I've had has been their single barrels, single cask. But this is one of the best whiskeys I've tried all year. It's got super heavy dried fruit, like a plummy date raisin, like a sweet brown sugared raisin pie.
Getting like green apple and white peppercorn out of this for some reason. I don't
What do
know
you have again?
what the combination is. The Tomatin 15, the weird cask, the Muscatel cask.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So wait, you like that or not like that one?
I like it. Yeah, no, it is
Good.
very tasty.
Glad. I thought it was, yeah, I've never seen, I found it, one random liquor store had it, and I was like, hey, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
Glad I picked that one up.
Mm.
Mike did say he gets cinnamon apple strudel off of this. I get that, Mike, but there's something else too, and I can't figure it out. I mean, I'm sorry. I it's not like I can tell you what I'm smelling, or I would pass you some, but I can't.
Yeah, just pass it along. Ed.
It's not very helpful, Ed.
I know, I'm terrible.
That is one of my favorite things, actually, about not being able to really name certain notes. That mysterious je ne sais quoi is a really cool aspect, I think. And it's really fun when you can name what you're tasting and be articulate in what you're getting on the nose and palate. But sometimes when there is that something you just can't get to, it's like the challenge of trying to figure out what it is really exciting, at least for me.
No, I get that. Yeah, for sure. I think my favorite thing though is when I've been stumped for like an hour just zipping on something, and then I pass it to Erica and she just goes, "Oh, it's blah blah blah." I'm like, yep, that's it.
We have a friend like that, Adam Brudner.
Oh, sure, yeah, I know Adam.
Yeah, he's
with all kinds of crazy tasting notes, and every time it's like, that's what that is. Yep. Come out with just a random word, and everyone in the room goes, "Son of a bitch!"
Yeah, and he gives it to you from across the room because he walked by when you opened the bottle. He got every note you're ever gonna get from it.
You get a call. You get like you're at home. You get a call. He's on your cell phone. Like, here's what you're tasting right now.
Yeah, no, he's pretty darn good. Every time I've given him something blind, he's tasted such a vast. He's definitely tasted more whiskeys than anybody I know personally. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. He may possibly at 1,000 now. I don't even know. And like I know that's not much compared to some people who have, but he's also the youngest of us all. Like, so he's got a massive head start, but he definitely is experienced and has great notes and a lot of stuff to relate to that he's had. I basically have him on my instant text list because whenever I'm in a liquor store or thinking about something online, I just ask him, "What's the scene with this?" And I'll get like a rundown or a link to his Reddit review. So he's usually my go-to guy before I buy something blind.
That's fun.
Yeah, his Reddit account is full of just crazy reviews. And then every once in a while, because I go down to Toronto with samples, he'll review something out of a sample bottle, and like people on Reddit will complain, like, "That's not real. You didn't realize." Like, so I have to post a picture of the bottle. Like, no, seriously, it's okay.
Oh, people are so distrusting.
Reddit,
Yeah, and like, is that really a thing?
Yeah, what do you gain from that? What do you gain from?
There's been a couple of times where people are just weirdly bitchy.
Yeah, that's the internet, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not in this chat. Everyone in this chat is a wonderful person.
Yeah, it's
right.
the same guy who goes in and gives everybody a thumbs down before it even starts. That same asshole.
Scott is still here because that guy's trouble. But everyone else is great.
So Matt, what's your now that you've kind of finished that or had some more of it, what's your overall opinion on that 11?
I really like it. Yeah, it's just fruity and floral at the same time. It was quite tasty.
I would
definitely buy a bottle of that if I could get that here, but I can't.
I have a general rule as a Canadian with lots of Canadian whiskey experience, and this is just generally speaking. Obviously, it's not an absolute, but I avoid pretty much all Canadians that are bottled at 40%.
Okay.
Anything that's higher just generally has shown that they're not sticking with that traditional Canadian whiskey production method of literally pumping out everything at bare minimum 40 as much as they can. And that's a Dr. Don product right there that you're drinking. So he puts love into it combined with a lot of knowledge. He's very passionate. So it comes through in those northern border releases.
What's the proof on this? Do you know what the proof is on this one?
The 11
I'm not sure. Yeah, there we go. Dan back there.
11 souls is 49.
Okay, so it is significantly higher. Very nice. Now, that was really good. Quite different than the other one, but I really enjoyed that as well. So that's 2 for 2. Good job.
Nice one.
I think those are the 2 Canadian that I gave you.
All right.
Changing minds, one Canadian whiskey at a time.
It's the information campaign. The more you know.
Yeah, really.
I think almost everything else that I gave you was probably peated because that seems to be on par for my collection.
When is the next local Dr. Don gathering? Mark, I don't know, but I'm willing to bet that if you contacted him, I have his business card behind me in my little drawer there. You could probably even get him to do some kind of event at your distillery, because I believe he did an event at a distillery that was not a Corby distillery. I could absolutely be wrong, but I believe I recall that a couple of years ago or something. But he's pretty accessible, and I know they do a lot of stuff down at the distillery in Windsor, which is a bit of a drive. But it's worth it. He does a blending class, actually, when you go in there and fully get to blend your own whiskey. And he guides you through it and teaches you a bunch of stuff. So that's something I've always wanted to go do, but because it's a tiny bit of a drive, or for Brad, a massive drive, just hasn't come through yet. But that might be something that we can all get together with the local guys.
That would be fun, yeah. I would definitely drive up for that.
Yeah.
Good night, Benjamin. We love you.
Good night, Benjamin.
Benjamin?
Night, Alan.
So I'm going to move on to another sample. This one, actually, I didn't get at the ball. My old man forgot his sweatshirt at the La Quinta. Jeffrey Patron was nice enough to find it and mail it back to us. And when my old man opened it up, he found a sample bottle inside. And it's Tobias and the Angel from what do you call it? Compass Box.
Yeah.
We're going to have a full review on this coming up. And I think, suffice to say, we all loved it.
Awesome.
There was nobody hated this in the house. And I don't know why Jeffrey Patron decided to pass it along to us, but he's a wonderful, wonderful human being.
He is
He's a great guy.
very wonderful human being.
That's one of those things that technically I own, but I don't have here.
It's somewhere in the ether.
90% of your collection.
It's in Canada. I don't even have to deal with customs. I just have to give it.
This is some remnants of the last bottle that one of the bottles Patron brought up to Canada.
Oh, nice.
It is so good. This is Peerless Single Barrel Kentucky Straight Rye Whiskey at 106.9, and the barrel is called New Jersey's First Barrel.
Nice.
And it's selected by Bourbon Street Wine and Spirits, and it is in the top 5 ryes I've ever had.
So, Matt, if you haven't picked one yet, I would suggest the Talisker 1985. Before your palate is ruined with other things.
I will do that then.
That is hands down my favorite Talisker by leaps and bounds.
All right.
And one of the better island whiskeys I've ever had. That stuff is delicious. Hashtag Brad spoiled.
Ooh.
Mike, had I not been doing that review with my father, I probably could have pulled off the bra corset wings combo.
Oh yes.
A little awkward to do that with my old man though.
That 1985 is at 56.1%.
Smells wonderful.
56.1% alcohol, 100% delicious.
Yeah, you can smell the waves of salt hitting the beach coming in this thing.
Yeah, I got super strong salt on that nose.
And sand. Yeah, this is like being on the Isle of Skye. Oh, wow.
Yes, Mark. Mark says that us folks have expanded his bar. His wife has turned to the peated land and is buying heavily peated offerings now.
Excellent.
Yes, Lisa.
Here, that's my job, is just to spread peat where there was no peat before.
I was wondering if weeg was some sort of Canadian slang. I wasn't sure. Like, I assumed it was wife, but then I was like, well, no, that's not assume. Maybe. It's the little man that all Canadians have live in their house and supplies them with
Sure.
Americans aren't supposed to know about that. Did you visit someone who didn't put their weed in the basement?
I imagine it's like the house elves in Norway, like the Tomta. It's a magical little man who lives in everyone's cupboard, and if you're really good on Canada Day, he shows up and he's got a basket full of whiskey.
Yeah, Ben Demon Hunter at the Telescope 1985.
It is freaking awesome. Wow, that's really freaking good.
Yeah, I need something else for my glass too.
All right. How about the Glen Glasgow 30 year?
Okay.
Ed, is that your favorite compass box you've ever had?
It is a close. Probably yes. Yeah. I was gonna say because the other one that I really love is this fellow right here.
No name.
The no name, but I think this one edges it out, and I was just so surprised by this one. This one is just so amazing. I think it's got everything. I just feel like it's such. It hits everything for me, and like I don't know, and Erica and the old man. It's got some peat. It's got this crazy kind of tropical fruit thing going on. It's malty, it's grain influenced, but it's not overly funky. It's just kind of perfect.
Yeah, John Glazer is friggin' a genius. A magnificent genius.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Whiskey weed shirt.
It's a good idea for a shirt.
Yeah, it sure is. Everyone needs a weed. It's kind of like, it reminds me of the Claricon from Irish folklore. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. He's like the drunken relative of a leprechaun. He lives in your wine cellar and he keeps the corks from drying out.
That's awesome.
But if you don't take care of him, if you don't like feed him every night, he'll come up, he'll kidnap you, and he'll beat the shit out of you.
And it turns out it's really just a drunk uncle.
Yikes.
I love how a lot of folklore is just like it's very cutesy up into the point until someone gets put in a sack and just beaten with a chain
right out of them.
We're adorable.
Dave K says he's enabling whiskey purchases for more than a year now, and yeah, he is a massive enabler.
Sure.
I think it's safe to say that 95% of my whiskey comes through Dave. So, thank you very much, Dave.
Matt's got a llama over by him.
Yeah, I don't know what mythical character she is, but yeah, she's a loud one.
It happens. I gotta run around too, so you know. It is what it is.
Mine is being super cute. Every now and then I can hear him whispering because like he usually goes to bed around 8:30 and we do like story time or something, but I can hear him coming out and he's like, "Shh, gotta be quiet, Daddy's doing his show."
Oh,
yeah, he's super cute, but he's also hell on wheels right now.
Yours
so
is nice.
It's nice that he's actually kind of behaving and stuff and going to bed and not pulling the come out every 5 minutes like, I just wanted like I'm hungry.
I don't know where my shoe is. It's the middle of the night.
But what if I need it?
Where are you going?
Yeah. I feel you.
Okay, so I do have to address a couple things that are being said in the chat about Canadian Club and Royal Reserve and Alberta Premium. They're really, truly not in any way, shape, or form indicative of what a good Canadian whiskey is. They're definitely indicative of a mass-produced like what everyone commonly knows as Canadian whiskey, just very sweet, very astringent, and one note ponies. And if you like that note, that's awesome. Then they're great, and I'm glad that people do enjoy it. But we have a heck of a lot better stuff to offer, and all of those previous ones I mentioned fall under that 40% category. So, like I said, it's not an absolute, but definitely try. Okay, so also White Owl there. I shouldn't have had a coffee. I'm all over the place now. 40% kind of steer clear. If they're higher than 40%, there's a much higher chance that you're going to enjoy that whiskey coming out of Canada. White Owl is actually, it's a tricky one for me. So I'm a bit of a bird nerd photographer guy. So I got some pictures of my first snowy owl, and I celebrated by buying a bottle of White Owl. And it's really, it's aged, but it's clear. So it goes through a process of they take the color out of it.
That's always worrisome.
It's really weird, yeah.
It's not just a gimmick. Like, it actually has an effect on it, and it's not a positive effect. But as far as clear whiskeys go, and technically because it is aged, it's amongst the better ones, but it's not worth the money, to put it bluntly.
I do like, my thing with the cheap Canadian whiskeys is that you have to admire them to a certain extent, simply because they manage to be excessively sweet and taste like a diesel fume at the exact same time.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's why I said, like, super sweet, super astringent.
Yeah,
like, it's hard to, you would think that something that tastes so sweet right there is going to end up finishing like vodka.
Yeah,
and have vodka on the nose.
It's like taking a bite of a big block of caramel and then like sucking out of a gas pump with the other hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. You like this? Does this look good? YouTube? Are we good with this, YouTube?
Only on cast strength, folks.
See what happens when you invite me on. Just
it's called comic relief. It's all good.
I'm good with burning the whole thing to the ground. It's fun.
So, Matt, you digging that Talisker or what?
I freaking love it. That's freaking phenomenal. My wag needs to be let loose on the children.
Gotta get that wag loose.
I'll yell at them and tell them the wag is coming.
Yeah, that Talisker is in my favorite whiskeys.
I could see why.
Really, my favorite Talisker.
It's just, it still keeps on going.
It's so good. That was that was a good one.
And it's got an amazing amount of bite left, even though it's 27 years old.
Yeah, that's amazing.
The peat isn't like rounded out as much as I would have expected.
No, not at all. It's totally there.
Yeah, I like that that real maritime salty note on it. Just a little less sweet than other Taliskers. Super good though. That was a big time hashtag Brad spoiled.
Possible. Yeah, right. Edit it with some extra graphics.
Well, you're in for a penny, you're in for a pound. We might as well make sure at this point.
Wow. Stay tuned for best strength whenever we start that channel up. That'll be a membership thing.
It's got the new show, the One Tit Review.
What?
Fuck.
Oh, just the one. Keep it professional now.
Sure.
Oh, that's good stuff. That's good fun. Mark, still in Canada, went for sugar this week with a butter tart moonshine. Okay, so Mark has a distillery. I'm sure most of you know that by now. Silver Fox. He's super enthusiastic and passionate about what he does. He's got a beautiful little thing going on there, and he's been making some crazy, awesome moonshine and eggnog, which Vito loves as much as anything he's ever had. And at the last tasting we were at, Mark brought a whole bunch of stuff, and that he's just testing out and kind of testing recipes and all of that jazz, and getting some feedback on. And yeah, it's really nice being the guinea pigs for somebody that had just started a distillery.
It absolutely is. That whiskey-based moonshine eggnog thing that he brought.
Yeah.
Dangerous.
Super good.
Sounds excellent.
Dangerous.
Had, like,
alcohol at all.
Yeah. The juniper shine was really good. So very ginny, obviously.
The juniper what? Shine.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Mark's very pretty much like any of us had.
And he doesn't even know about the secret one on the back.
That's only 33% nipple.
Yeah, that's awkward, man. I've only shown 33%. I don't know what you're doing.
You should see the lower half. It's like 95% nipple.
Oh.
Not monetized because that would be a problem.
We're gonna have offers after tonight, though. You better be damn sure.
Cast Strength, brought to you by Brazzers.
That would be an awesome. All jokes aside, that would be a pretty awesome sponsor.
A little hard to explain to the Ouijas, but
poor Ouija is so confused.
I've come closer to spitting whiskey on my computer tonight than I have any previous night.
perfect.
Oh.
And with that, we should probably wrap it up so we don't. I think what Mash and Drum is streaming.
Yeah, he's on here in a couple of minutes.
Yeah. So we don't want to step on any toes of
No.
people that have a lot better audience, bigger than would follow us. So we're just going to leave anyway, so we might as well.
What'd you think of that one anyway, Brad? That Glengasco 30.
Delicious.
It's found in a random Kentucky liquor store by a friend.
Wow.
This pre-closing. It's reopened now, but it was pre-closing at the time.
Yeah, this is very
That's
tasty.
something we just don't get the chance to have in Ontario, and out west they have them because they're privatized. But one day I'll go to a ma and pa liquor shop. One day.
Yeah, they're nice, man. My personal favorite is the North Side liquor stores here. Like it's the hood. Which I hate that term, but but all the other whiskey hipsters don't go to them, and so I get my pick.
Nice. All right. Well, it's been good. Thanks, Matt and Ed, for stopping in and filling the tiny shoes for the evening.
Yeah.
Guys.
Appreciate it.
I was glad to be here.
Matt, for all of the samples, they've been delicious so far. So I assume that will be enjoyable as well. And hopefully you enjoy the rest that I passed on.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, yeah, to you guys and to everyone at home, cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
Have a good night.
See you next time.